Dear listener, today our second and last part of this topic, so please listen carefully. Thanks. Chapter 15, The Role of Imagination in Reality. Shifting in a sun-drenched studio high in the mountains, a young artist named Raphael stood before an empty canvas. While others saw blankness, his eyes beheld a masterpiece already complete. Every stroke, every shade, every subtle interplay of light and shadow existed vividly in his mind's eye. As his brush touched the canvas, he merely traced what was already there, bringing the invisible into visible form. You too possess this power of pre-creation. What many call imagination is actually the ability to step into realities that exist in potential form. When you engage in true visualization, you are not fabricating fantasy. You are experiencing what already exists in the quantum field. The universe responds not to what you wish for but to what you vibrate as real. When you imagine with full sensory engagement, you create a quantum blueprint that the universe must fulfill. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the active engagement with parallel realities that already exist. Think of your desired reality as a frequency playing on a radio station you haven't yet tuned to. Through vivid imagination, you adjust your internal dial to receive that station. The more real you make it in your mind, the stronger the signal becomes. Just as Raphael saw his paintings complete before lifting his brush, you must see, feel, hear, taste, and touch your desires as if they are present now. This sends ripples through the quantum field, collapsing possibility into certainty, multisensory reality creation. Close your eyes and enter your desired reality. See the details with crystal clarity. Notice the colors, the shapes, the play of light and shadow. Let these images become as real as your current surroundings. Now, add sound. Hear the voices, the music, the ambient noise of this reality. Let these sounds surround you completely. Feel the textures, temperatures, and sensations, whether it's the weight of success, the warmth of love, or the texture of abundance. Make it physically real. Breathe in the sense of this reality. Let them trigger memories that haven't happened yet. Taste the sweetness of achievement, the flavor of fulfillment. Let every sense confirm that this reality is not coming. It is here. Remain in this complete sensory immersion until it feels more real than your current circumstances. Let each breath draw you deeper into this reality, anchoring you in its truth. You are not pretending. You are pre-experience what is already yours, claiming what the universe has already set aside for you. This is not imagination, but recognition, not fantasy, but prophecy. In this sacred space of complete knowing, you commune with the divine blueprint of your destined path. Chapter 16, Energetic Signatures. A young musician named Arya lived in a village nestled between ancient mountains. Each morning she would climb to the highest peak carrying her wooden flute. For years, she played melodies hoping to unlock the mysteries whispered about in legends of doorways that appeared when the perfect note was struck, yet nothing changed until one day she realized it was not about finding the right note but becoming it. You too stand before such doorways separated only by frequency. The reality you seek exists now, vibrating at a specific resonance like a radio signal. It broadcasts continuously, waiting for you to match its wavelength. The universe operates through resonance, not request. When you ask for abundance while vibrating at the frequency of lack, your signal remains misaligned with your desire. When you plead for love while emanating fear, you create dissonance rather than harmony. Each version of reality, each timeline, each possibility exists at its own unique frequency. Success vibrates differently than struggle. Abundance resonates at a different pitch than scarcity. Love emanates a different wavelength than loneliness. Just as Arya learned to become the note she played, you must become the frequency you wish to experience. If you seek abundance, you must vibrate at the frequency of abundance, not by pretending, but by truly embodying that energy state. If you desire love, you must resonate with the frequency of love, not by wanting it, but by becoming it. Frequency, alignment, practice. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing your awareness to settle into your body. Feel your current vibrational state. Notice its texture, its rhythm, its quality. Now bring to mind someone who embodies what you desire. Not their external circumstances but their energy. How they move through the world, how they carry themselves, how they respond to life. Begin to breathe as they would breathe, move as they would move. Think as they would think. Let your entire being shift into alignment with this frequency. Feel yourself becoming this resonance, not imitating, but transforming, allowing your energy field to naturally attune to this higher vibration. Stay here until you feel the shift complete, until you no longer remember how to vibrate at your old frequency. Let this new resonance become so natural, so intrinsic to your being that your former state feels like a distant memory, a story that belonged to someone else. You have not changed your circumstances. You have changed your broadcast signal. The universe must now respond accordingly. For this is the ancient law that governs all creation: like attracts like, and your new vibration will call forth its matching reality with perfect precision. Chapter 17, The Unbreakable Laws of Quantum Trust. In the ancient markets of a distant land, a merchant named Hassan tended his garden each morning before opening his shop. Each day he would plant the finest seeds, carefully covering them with rich soil, but his shadows lengthened across his garden. Doubt would creep into his heart, unable to resist. He would unearth the seeds, examining them for signs of growth. Then replant them with trembling hands. Year after year, his garden remained barren while others flourished around him. You too plant seeds in the quantum field with every intention. You set each thought, each desire, each clear vision of what you wish to manifest. These are seeds planted in fertile soil, but like a son, you may find yourself uprooting these possibilities before they have time to take root. Trust is not merely a virtue. It is a force that shapes reality. When you plant an intention in absolute certainty, you create an unbreakable quantum bond between present and future. This bond strengthens with each moment. You maintain unwavering faith, drawing your desire closer to manifestation. Doubt, however, acts as a disruptive frequency. Each time you question whether your desire will manifest, you weaken the entanglement between possibility and reality. Your wavering creates interference patterns in the quantum field, keeping your manifestation in a state of perpetual uncertainty. The universe responds not to what you want but to what you trust is already yours. When you set an intention and stand firm and absolute, knowing, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing, you establish a clear channel through which manifestation can flow. Quantum Trust Practice. Choose one specific desire and write it down with absolute clarity. Now make an unbreakable covenant with yourself. For the next 7 days, you will maintain complete trust in its manifestation. Not a single doubt will be entertained each time a doubt attempts to surface. Immediately replace it with the phrase, "This is already mine. I trust in its perfect unfolding." Treat your intention as you would treat the sun rising, with complete certainty that it will appear. You do not wake each morning wondering if the sun will rise. You do not check the sky repeatedly to ensure it's still there. You simply know this is the level of trust required for rapid manifestation. Let your desire rest in the soil of certainty, undisturbed by doubt, watered only with unwavering faith. What you plant and trust must grow. This is the law of quantum creation. Chapter 18, Releasing the Need to Control Along the Ancient Shores of a Distant Sea. A sailor named Adnan battled against fierce winds. Day after day, he would strain at the helm muscles taut with effort, fighting to bend nature to his will. Yet the more he struggled, the more the winds seemed to resist, pushing him further from his destination. You too may find yourself locked in constant struggle, attempting to force reality into the shape you desire. This resistance creates tension in the quantum field, disrupting the natural flow of manifestation. True power does not come from controlling every aspect of creation. It emerges from aligning with the universal flow. When you release your grip on how things should unfold, you allow the infinite intelligence of the quantum field to orchestrate circumstances far beyond your limited perspective. The moment Adnan surrendered to the wind's guidance, his vessel began to move with unprecedented speed and grace. By releasing control, he discovered currents he never knew existed, carrying him effortlessly to shores more magnificent than those he had originally sought. This is the paradox of quantum creation. The less you try to control, the more power you have. When you cease forcing outcomes and instead trust in the perfect unfolding of events, you activate forces beyond your comprehension. Think of the quantum field as an infinite ocean of possibility. Your role is not to direct every wave, but to set your intention and then release it into the capable hands of universal intelligence. This surrender allows the field to reorganize reality in ways your limited mind could never conceive. Quantum surrender practice. Select something you have been trying to control. Close your eyes and visualize yourself holding it tightly. Now, with each breath, loosen your grip until you can feel the tension leaving your body. Speak these words: I release my need to control this outcome. I trust in the perfect unfolding of all things. Feel the lightness that comes with surrender. Notice how releasing control creates space for unexpected miracles. To enter, your only task is to maintain clear intention while allowing the quantum field to determine the path of least resistance. Let go of the how, when, and where. Your role is to hold the vision of what you desire. While remaining open to infinite possibilities for its manifestation, trust that what unfolds will be far greater than what your limited mind could have planned for. The universe operates through channels of wisdom that your limited mind could never conceive. Quantum surrender practice. Select something you have been trying to control. Close your eyes and visualize yourself holding it tightly. Now, with each breath, loosen your grip until you can feel the tension leaving your body. Speak these words: I release my need to control this outcome. I trust in the perfect unfolding of all things. Feel the lightness that comes with surrender. Notice how releasing control creates space for unexpected miracles. To enter, your only task is to maintain clear intention while allowing the quantum field to determine the path of least resistance. Chapter 19, Collapsing Old Timelines. In a village among ancient hills, there lived a blacksmith named Reza. Each morning he would enter his workshop surrounded by the tools and techniques passed down through generations of his family. The soot-stained walls held memories of failures, of metals that wouldn't bend to his will, of expectations he could never meet. You too carry the weight of your past, moments of perceived failure. Old stories that replay in your mind, identities that no longer serve you. These memories are not mere reflections. They are active forces shaping your current reality through quantum entanglement. The truth lies beyond the illusion of linear time. Each moment presents an opportunity to step into a new version of yourself, unburdened by what came before. Your past exists only as long as you can continue to energetically engage with it. One day, as Reza stood before his forge, he noticed how the metal transformed completely under the heat, its previous form becoming irrelevant to what it could become. In that moment, he understood just as metal could be reshaped. His identity was not fixed by his history. When you release your attachment to who you were, you free up the energy to become who you truly are. The quantum field holds infinite versions of you. Versions unbound by past experiences, untethered from old limitations. Your previous experiences exist as memories, but they need not exist as anchors. Just as Raza discovered that his family's traditional methods were not the only path to mastery, you too can release the patterns that keep you bound to an outdated version of yourself. Timeline clearing practice. Sit in stillness and envision your past as a river flowing behind you. Watch as each memory, each old story about yourself floats by. Do not resist them. Simply observe. Now speak these words. I honor what was, but I choose who I am becoming. I release all energetic ties to versions of myself that no longer serve my highest good. Feel the lightness as old identities dissolve like morning mist, giving way to golden dawn. Notice the space that opens up when you no longer carry the weight of who you used to be. A profound liberation of spirit and mind. In this space of pure potential, infinite new possibilities emerge, waiting to be shaped by your awakened consciousness, like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. You stand ready to spread your wings into the vastness of who you are becoming. Chapter 20, Sacred Stillness. In the heart of a sacred grove, a mystic named Theos spent his days seeking the source of creation. While others sought power through action and words, he discovered something far more potent. The power of absolute stillness. You have been taught that creation requires constant doing, endless planning, and ceaseless activity. Yet the deepest truths of the universe reveal themselves only in silence. When the mind grows still, you touch the infinite field of pure potential. Think of a calm lake at dawn. When the surface is disturbed, it shows only broken reflections, but in perfect stillness, it mirrors reality. With crystal clarity, your mind operates in the same way. In the spaces between thoughts, you access the quantum field where all possibilities exist. Theos discovered this truth one morning when exhausted from his spiritual practices. He simply stopped in that moment of surrender. When his mind fell silent, he witnessed reality reshape itself around him. The trees seemed to bend toward his presence and the very air sparkled with possibility. He realized that his previous efforts had only created ripples in the quantum field. It was in stillness that he could truly direct its flow. That does not need your constant intervention to manifest your desires. In fact, your endless mental chatter often disrupts the natural process of creation. True power lies in learning to enter the void. The space where thought ceases and pure awareness begins. When you enter the state of quantum silence, you bypass the limitations of the conscious mind. Here in this vast stillness, you can access the blueprint of reality itself. Like Theos, you will discover that your greatest manifestations emerge not from doing, but from being. Quantum silence. Practice. Find a space where you will remain undisturbed. Close your eyes and allow your breath to naturally slow. Notice the gaps between your thoughts. These are doorways to the quantum field. As thoughts arise, neither resist nor engage with them. Simply watch them pass like clouds in an endless sky. Gradually you will sense a deepening stillness, as if you are sinking into an infinite ocean of possibility. Rest in this space. Feel how creation requires no effort. Here, it flows naturally from your state of being in this silence. You are both the creator and the witness of creation itself. Let your desired reality emerge from this stillness, not as a thought or visualization, but as a knowing that transcends mental activity. Stay here until you feel reality beginning to shift around you, responding to your silent presence. Part 3, Transcending Limitations and Becoming a Quantum Master. Chapter 21, Stepping into Your Quantum Self. In a distant kingdom there lived a warrior named Kairos, who spent years honing his skills for an epic battle. he believed lay ahead. Each day he trained harder, gathered more weapons, and fortified his defenses. Yet with each preparation, the battle seemed to grow more daunting. In his mind, you like Kairos may believe that your transformation requires endless preparation for some future moment. This is the illusion that keeps you bound to your current reality. The truth is far more immediate. You already exist in infinite versions, each one experiencing a different expression of your potential. These versions are not distant possibilities, but present realities existing simultaneously. In the quantum field, the version of you who has already achieved your deepest desires is not a future self to be created, but a current self to be chosen. Kairos discovered this truth when an old sage showed him a pool of still water. Look closely, the sage instructed in the reflection. Kairos saw not one, but many versions of himself. Some were warriors, others were teachers. Some were kings. Others were humble servants. Which one is real? Asked the sage. Kairos realized then that they all were. The battle Kairos had been preparing for was not with an external enemy, but with his own limiting identity. The moment he chose to embody the version of himself who had already achieved victory, his entire reality shifted to match this new identity. This is the hidden key to manifestation. You need not force external change. Instead, simply step into the identity of the version of you who already experiences your desired reality. When you make this shift, the quantum field naturally reorganizes to reflect your new chosen identity. Quantum identity, shift practice. Close your eyes and center yourself in stillness. Allow yourself to sense the many versions of you that exist in this moment. Feel their presence like reflections in an infinite mirror. Now, bring your attention to the version of you who already embodies everything you desire to become. Notice how this version thinks, moves, and responds to life. Begin to breathe as this version of you breathes, allowing their natural rhythm to become your own. Feel what they feel, their deep sense of peace, their unwavering confidence, their absolute alignment with their desires. See through their eyes, perceiving the world as they do, where everything flows with divine perfection. Let their certainty, their knowing, their state of being flow through you like a gentle river of light, washing away all doubt and resistance. You are not pretending or forcing this experience. You are recognizing and remembering a self that already exists in the infinite field of possibility. Stay with this embodiment until you feel a subtle shift, an unmistakable knowing that you have aligned with this reality. Let this awareness settle into your bones, into every cell of your being until it becomes as natural as drawing breath. Chapter 22, The Power of Non-Attachment. In a coastal village there lived a fisherman named Rami who spent every dawn casting his nets into the sea. Each day he would grip his nets tightly, his muscles tense with desperation. Watching the waters with anxious eyes, the harder he tried, the fewer fish he caught until his family's bowls sat empty night after night. You like Rami may believe that manifesting your desires requires intense focus and gripping tightly to your goals. Yet this very attachment creates an energetic barrier that prevents your desires from flowing naturally into your experience. When you need something desperately, you broadcast a frequency of lack into the quantum field. This frequency tells the universe, I don't have this, and the universe, being a perfect mirror, reflects back more experiences of not having. The secret lies in a profound paradox. To receive what you want, you must release your attachment to receiving it. One morning, exhausted from his struggle, Rami fell asleep in his boat. As his grip on the nets loosened, they drifted freely in the current. Upon awakening, he found his nets overflowing with fish. In that moment, he understood the ocean had always been abundant. It was his desperate grasp that had created resistance. The universe operates through perfect law. When you release your attachment while maintaining unwavering faith, you remove the energetic interference that blocks manifestation. This is not about giving up or becoming passive. It is about trusting in the unseen forces that orchestrate all things. Letting go. Ritual: sit in stillness and bring to mind something you deeply desire. Feel its essence but notice any tension, anxiety, or desperate need surrounding it. Now imagine this desire as a dove resting in your open palms. Feel its gentle weight, its living presence. With each breath, loosen your grip slightly, allowing the dove to rest freely, knowing it chooses to stay. Notice how this feels, the perfect balance of holding an intention while releasing attachment to how and when it manifests. Let your breath become soft and steady as you repeat silently. I release all tension around this desire. I trust in perfect timing. I know with certainty that what is meant for me cannot miss me. Stay in this space of peaceful expectation where trust replaces need and certainty replaces desperation. Your desire is already yours. You are simply allowing it to manifest in its own divine timing. Chapter 23, Living in the Field of Miracles. In the heart of an ancient desert, a young woman named Nura journeyed between distant cities carrying messages for merchants. One evening, caught in a sudden sandstorm with no shelter in sight, she witnessed something extraordinary, a doorway of light appearing in the swirling sands, leading her to safety. You too live in a world where such mysteries unfold constantly, though your conditioned mind may dismiss them as coincidence or imagination. What you call miracles are simply moments when you glimpse the true nature of reality, infinitely malleable, responding to consciousness itself. The quantum field does not distinguish between possible and impossible. These categories exist only in human thought, born from limited perception and societal programming. When you align your beliefs, emotions, and actions with what you desire, the universe must respond not through supernatural intervention, but through the natural laws that govern all creation. As Nura continued her travels, she began noticing more inexplicable events: water appearing in barren lands, strangers offering exactly what she needed before she asked, paths opening where none existed before she realized these were not separate miracles but glimpses of an underlying truth. Reality shapes itself to match unwavering belief. Your world is not solid. It is responsive, fluid, waiting to be shaped by your consciousness. Every thought you hold with certainty, every emotion you fully embody creates ripples in the quantum field that manifest as what you call miracles. These are not rare occurrences but the natural state of existence. When you remove the barriers of doubt and limitation, miracle awareness practice for the next 7 days, carry a small journal with you each evening. Record 3 unexpected events that served your highest good, moments of perfect timing, surprising solutions, or seemingly impossible coincidences. Write down every detail: what happened, how you felt, and what you were thinking or believing in the moments before. As you document these occurrences, you will begin to see patterns emerge. What you once dismissed as luck or coincidence will reveal itself as the precise working of universal law. You'll discover that miracles are not random acts of grace, but the natural result of aligning the quantum field. Each entry should begin with the phrase, "I now recognize this miracle." This simple act of acknowledgement trains your mind to expect and recognize the extraordinary, making you increasingly receptive to the infinite possibilities that surround you at all times. Chapter 24, Time is an Illusion in the Mountains of a Distant Land. A craftsman named Cao spent years perfecting his inventions, always believing that mastery required endless time and patience. Each morning he would rise before dawn, meticulously planning the day's work, convinced that creation followed a strict linear path. You too may believe that manifestation requires the passage of time, that desires must unfold gradually following an ordained sequence of events. This is the greatest illusion that keeps you bound to slower manifestations. Time is not a river flowing in one direction. It is an ocean of infinite moments all existing simultaneously. When you step beyond linear thinking, you discover that every possible version of your reality already exists. In the quantum field, what you perceive as waiting is simply the movement of your consciousness from one state to another. Cato's revelation came unexpectedly. One morning while sketching a new design, he entered a state of such complete absorption that time seemed to dissolve. When he emerged, he found his invention already completed. Not through the usual months of trial and error, but through an instant alignment with its finished state. He had not created something new. He had simply tuned into a reality where his creation already existed. This is the secret of instant manifestation. The ability to align so completely with your desired reality that time becomes irrelevant. The universe does not require months or years to manifest your desires. These intervals exist only because your consciousness moves gradually between states of being. Time collapse technique. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, allowing your awareness to settle into the present moment. Now, identify something you wish to manifest. Instead of seeing this desire as a future event, experience it as an already existing reality. Feel the textures. Hear the sounds. Notice the details of this manifestation as if you are there now. This is not imagination. It is accessing a quantum reality that already exists. Remain in this state for several minutes, allowing yourself to fully inhabit this reality. Notice how your body feels, how your energy shifts, how your emotions align with having already received what you desire. The key is not to reach for this reality, but to settle into it as your current experience. When thoughts of waiting or future arise, gently return to the sensation of already having what you desire. Time is not your master. It is simply a measure of distance between different states of consciousness. As you practice this technique, you'll discover that manifestation occurs not through the passage of time, but through the complete alignment with what already exists in the quantum field. Chapter 25, The Quantum Ripple Effect. In a bustling marketplace, a young musician named Rami sat quietly with his oud, an ancient stringed instrument passed down through generations. As the crowd rushed past, he closed his eyes and played a single note, pure, clear, and true. In that moment, something extraordinary occurred. The chaotic sounds of the marketplace began to align with his note, creating an unexpected harmony. You may believe your interstate affects only your personal reality, but this understanding barely scratches the surface of your true influence. The quantum field responds not just to your individual frequency but ripples outward, touching everything and everyone connected to you. When you shift your consciousness, whether through meditation, intention, or simple awareness, you create waves in the fabric of reality itself. These waves move through the quantum web, affecting not only your immediate circumstances but the entire tapestry of existence. Consider how a shift in your mood can instantly change the atmosphere of a room. This is not coincidence or mere perception. It is the literal transmission of your frequency. Through the quantum field, your energy becomes a tuning fork, resonating with and influencing all it touches. Rami's single note demonstrated this universal truth. As his pure tone rang out, vendors began moving in rhythm. Customers' voices harmonized unconsciously, and even the wind seemed to carry his melody. He had not changed anyone directly. He had simply aligned himself with a higher frequency, allowing others to naturally attune to this new vibration. This principle extends far beyond music. Every thought you hold, every emotion you cultivate, every conscious choice you make sends ripples through the collective consciousness. When you elevate your own frequency, you create an energetic pathway for others to rise as well. Ripple awareness practice. Begin by centering yourself in a state of peaceful awareness. Choose one positive quality, perhaps joy, calm or confidence, and fully embody this energy as you move through your day. Observe without attachment how this frequency influences your environment. Notice how people respond to your presence. Watch how situations unfold differently. When you maintain this elevated state, pay attention to the subtle ways your energy affects the flow of events around you. This is not about controlling others or manipulating circumstances. It is about understanding your role as a conscious participant in the quantum field. Recognizing that your inner state creates ripples that touch countless lives in ways you may never fully see. Like a pebble dropped in still waters. Your energy emanates outward in ever-expanding circles, influencing the collective consciousness in subtle yet profound ways. When you grasp this truth, you begin to move through life with greater awareness and responsibility. Knowing that each thought, each feeling, each conscious choice carries within it the power to uplift not only your own vibration, but that of the entire unified field of consciousness. Chapter 26, Breaking the Cycle. In a remote village, there lived a farmer named Akash who tended the same fields his father and grandfather had worked before him. Each spring, without thought or question, he would plant the same bitter herbs his ancestors had grown. Though the market no longer valued these herbs and though the soil yearned for different nutrients, Akash continued the pattern, believing this was simply his fate. You are not bound by the cycles that seem to repeat in your life. What appears as destiny is merely a pattern of energy maintained by your unconscious dedication to an old story. The threads that connect your present to your past exist only because you continue to weave them. The quantum field holds no memory. It responds only to the vibration you emit. Now, when you find yourself experiencing the same situations repeatedly, it is not because the universe is conspiring against you. It is because you remain energetically entangled with these patterns through your beliefs, expectations, and unconscious agreements. Just as Akash planted bitter herbs because he believed he had no choice, you may be replanting the seeds of old experiences simply because you haven't realized you can choose differently. The power to break any pattern lies in this moment of awareness. When you recognize that you are not the pattern but the one who has been maintaining it, consider how many times you have said, "This always happens to me," or "I knew this would happen again." These statements are not observations. They are commands to the quantum field, instructions to replicate the very experiences you wish to change. One day, a wandering sage observed Akash in his fields and asked, "Why do you plant what brings you no joy?" This simple question shattered the trance of tradition. Akash realized he had been choosing his grandfather's life instead of his own. The following spring, he planted sweet flowers instead, transforming not only his fields but his entire reality. Pattern-breaking ritual: identify a pattern that repeats in your life. Write it down with complete honesty. Now close your eyes and feel where this pattern lives in your body. Notice the sensations, the emotions it carries consciously. Choose to release your energetic investment. In this story declare, "I now release all agreements, conscious and unconscious, that bind me to this pattern. I choose a new path for the next 7 days." Whenever you notice the old pattern beginning to emerge, take 3 deep breaths and consciously choose a different response. You are not fighting against the old pattern. You are simply stepping onto a new timeline where it no longer exists. Chapter 27, The Sacred Art of Surrender. In ancient times there lived a sailor named Rayan who believed he could master the sea through sheer force of will. Each morning, he would set out before dawn, fighting against the waves struggling to bend the winds to his command. Despite his strength and determination, he often found himself exhausted, barely catching enough fish to survive. You too may find yourself locked in an endless battle with life, believing that control is the path to success. Yet the universe operates according to laws far more sophisticated than human will. When you release the need to force outcomes, you tap into a power greater than any you could exert through effort alone. The quantum field is already orchestrating countless variables in your favor. Your role is not to direct every detail but to align with the natural flow of creation. Just as a leaf does not fight the river to reach the ocean, you need not struggle against the current of life to reach your destination. One stormy morning as Rayan prepared to battle the waves, once again, an old fisherman spoke to him. The sea is not your enemy to conquer but your partner in creation. These words struck Ray's heart with truth that day. Instead of fighting the water, he observed its patterns. Instead of forcing his way through the waves, he felt their rhythm. To his amazement, he discovered that the very currents he had been fighting were actually leading to the richest fishing grounds. This truth extends beyond the physical realm. It is the fundamental nature of reality itself. When you surrender to the intelligence of the universe, you allow quantum forces to work on your behalf. This is not passive resignation, but active alignment with the forces that govern all creation. Surrender meditation. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Feel the weight of control. You've been carrying the need to orchestrate every outcome, to know every step ahead. Now consciously release this burden. With each exhale, let go of the illusion that you must manage every detail of your life. Visualize yourself as a leaf on a river. Feel how effortlessly you move. When you stop resisting the current, allow yourself to be carried by the intelligence that orchestrates galaxies. Trust that the same force that keeps planets in orbit is guiding your life with equal precision. Stay in this state of surrender for at least 10 minutes, repeatedly releasing any tension or need to control that arises. Remember, true power lies not in forcing reality to bend to your will, but in aligning with the natural flow of the universe. Chapter 28, Infinite Expansion. In the heart of an ancient desert, there lived a man named Khalil who dreamed of finding the edge of the world. Each morning, he would rise before dawn, pack his belongings and journey toward the horizon, certain that one day he would reach the boundary of existence. You, like Khalil, may believe there are limits to what you can achieve, invisible walls that contain your potential. Yet this perception is merely an illusion, a story you have accepted as truth. The quantum field knows no boundaries. Each time you expand your vision, reality expands with you. What you perceive as limitations are simply the temporary borders of your current consciousness waiting to be transcended. As Khalil walked for days, weeks, and months, something remarkable began to unfold. Each time he reached what appeared to be the horizon, a new one appeared before him. The desert would transform into lush valleys, the valleys into mountains, and the mountains into seas. Every end revealed itself to be merely a beginning. This eternal expansion is the true nature of your being. You are not a finite creation bound by fixed possibilities. You are an infinite expression of consciousness constantly unfolding into greater versions of yourself. Limitless vision. Practice. Close your eyes and bring to mind your greatest dream. The vision that fills you with excitement. Now, multiply it by 10. Feel your consciousness expanding beyond its familiar borders. Whatever limits you've placed on wealth, joy, impact, or achievement, consciously dissolve them. See yourself standing at what you thought was the horizon of your potential. Now, watch as it pulls back, revealing vast new territories, a possibility. Whatever you thought was your ceiling becomes your new floor. Continue this expansion until you feel your whole being vibrating with the thrill of unlimited potential. Remember, the universe is not bound by your past beliefs about what is possible. It responds to your expanded vision with expanded reality. There is no final horizon, only the next beautiful unfolding of your infinite potential. As you release the limitations of your former thinking, you open yourself to the boundless abundance that has always existed beyond the veil of doubt. The cosmic forces align with the magnitude of your dreams, matching your elevated consciousness with elevated circumstances. Each time you stretch your vision, you create space for greater manifestations to flow into your life. Chapter 29, Bending Reality with Gratitude. In the hidden scrolls of an ancient temple, there lived a wanderer named Rami who spent his days searching for the secret to abundance. Each morning he would venture into distant lands seeking treasures and riches, convinced that somewhere beyond the next mountain lay the key to his fortune. You, like many before you, may believe that abundance comes from endless seeking. Yet the quantum field operates on a profound truth. Gratitude is the doorway through which all manifestations flow. When you express genuine gratitude for what exists now, you align with the frequency of having. This is not mere philosophy. It is quantum mechanics in action. Your appreciation creates a resonance that attracts more experiences worthy of appreciation. Rami's journey took an unexpected turn. When he found himself lost in the barren valley with no food and little water, he began to notice small blessings: the shade of a lone tree, the coolness of the morning air, the strength in his legs that carried him forward. As he focused on these simple gifts, something extraordinary occurred. The more he appreciated, the more abundance appeared in his path. First water, then fruit, then gold coins scattered along his way. This truth remains unchanged. Gratitude is not a response to abundance. It is the catalyst that creates it. When you generate genuine appreciation, you collapse the timeline between wanting and having. Your thankfulness now becomes the bridge to greater blessings. Gratitude, activation. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Begin with something small. Perhaps the breath in your lungs or the beating of your heart. Feel sincere appreciation for this gift. Let this feeling expand, encompassing more and more aspects of your life. Notice how your energy shifts as gratitude fills your being. Now, direct this amplified appreciation toward what you desire, feeling thankful as though it has already manifested. Experience how this raises your frequency, aligning you with the reality where your desires already exist. Stay in this elevated state for several minutes, allowing the quantum field to reorganize around your new vibrational signature. The universe responds not to your words of thanks, but to the genuine feeling of appreciation emanating from your heart. This vibration of sincere gratitude creates ripples through the quantum field, touching every particle of creation with its transformative power. This is the frequency that dissolves resistance and accelerates manifestation. When you truly feel thankful, you align with the natural state of abundance that permeates all existence. As you master this practice, you'll discover that gratitude is not just a virtue. It is the very key to unlocking the abundance that has always been yours, waiting patiently in the eternal now for you to claim it through the power of your awakened heart. Chapter 30, Becoming the Quantum Architect of Your Life. In the ancient halls of wisdom, there lived a master named Sorin who spent decades teaching others the mysteries of creation. Yet even as he guided countless students to their own awakening, he held back from fully embracing his own power. Like you, he understood the principles, but something within him hesitated to claim complete dominion over his reality. You have journeyed through the depths of quantum truth, uncovering the invisible threads that weave reality into being. Each teaching, each practice has stripped away the illusions that once bound you. Now you stand at the threshold of complete emergence. The moment of Sorin's transformation came not through new knowledge, but through acceptance of what he had always known. One morning as he watched the sun rise, he saw how his consciousness had been painting every moment of his existence. The birds that sang, the wind that blew, the very ground beneath his feet, all were responding to his interstate. In that instant, he stepped fully into his role as creator. No longer teaching about power but embodying it completely. This truth now stands before you. You are not learning to create. You are remembering that you have always been creating. Every circumstance, every relationship, every experience in your life has been shaped by your consciousness. The only difference is that now you do it with awareness. Creation is not something you do. It is what you are. The quantum field has always been responding to your frequency, your beliefs, your expectations. Now, with the veil lifted, you step forward as the conscious architect of your reality. Final embodiment practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Feel the energy of creation flowing through you, not as something external, but as your very essence. Acknowledge that you are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force individualized. There comes a moment when understanding transforms into knowing. This is that moment the veil has been lifted and you see with clarity that was always your birthright, like a dreamer, awakening to find they control the dream. You now stand in full awareness of your creative power. Think back to when you first opened these pages. You may have approached with curiosity, perhaps skepticism, seeking answers to questions that stirred in your soul. But what has unfolded is far more significant than mere knowledge. It is an awakening to the truth of your own nature. You have witnessed how your thoughts shape the quantum field, how your emotions magnetize reality, how your beliefs determine which version of existence manifests before you. These are not theories to contemplate. They are laws as certain as gravity, as reliable as the rising sun. Look around you. Everything you see, every circumstance you experience, every relationship that surrounds you, all of it has emerged from your consciousness. The world you perceive is not happening to you. It is responding to you. This truth cannot be unlearned, cannot be unseen, cannot be denied. You now understand why some days seemed magical, when everything aligned perfectly. Those were the moments when you unknowingly matched the frequency of your desires. You see why certain patterns kept repeating. They were echoes of your sustained beliefs. You recognize why unexpected miracles appeared. They were manifestations of your momentary pure faith. The question that once burned in your mind, is this real, has transformed into the declaration: this is real. You have moved beyond seeking validation from external sources because the evidence is everywhere, woven into the fabric of your daily experience. Each breath you take is a creative force. Each thought you think is a seed planted in the quantum field. Each feeling you hold is a frequency broadcasting into the universe. This is not metaphor. It is the fundamental mechanism of reality. You stand now at the threshold of unlimited potential. The old boundaries of what you thought possible have dissolved. The limitations you once accepted as reality are revealed as nothing more than thoughts given power through belief. You are free to create anew, unrestricted by past conditioning. This is not the end of your journey. It is the true beginning. You step forward not as a student of universal law, but as its conscious wielder. The power you sought was never outside you. It was always your essential nature waiting to be recognized. What will you create with this knowing? What realities will you step into now that you understand your role as their architect? The quantum field awaits your direction, ready to manifest whatever frequency you choose to embody. If you enjoyed this exclusive, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks.